Hello, students. Welcome to 7th lecture of second unit solutions. Today, we are going to study very important topics, that is colligative properties and determination of molar mass. So one topic is colligative properties, and we shall use these colligative properties for determination of molar mass of solute. Okay, let us begin. First of all, what colligative properties are? The properties which depend on the number of solute particles and do not depend upon their nature are called colligative properties. Actually, the word colligative has been derived from a Latin word. In Latin, co means together, ligate means to bind together. And these properties are also called democratic properties. Now, let us try to understand. Democracy in our India, there is democratic system, there is democracy. Every person who is 18 year above has a vote. One person, one vote. Whether that person is educated or non-educated, rich or poor, male or female, irrespective of any factor, one person is one vote. Similarly, there are some properties of solutions which depend only upon the number of solute particles and don't depend upon their nature. Nature means upon their size, upon their charge, upon other such factors you will learn in due course. Okay, so the properties of solutions which are dependent only upon number of solute particles. मतलब solute particles किन्ने हैं, कौन है, कैसे है, पॉजिटिव है, नेगेटिव है, it doesn't matter. Okay, so there are four colligative properties. First is relative lowering of vapor pressure of solvent. Second is depression of freezing point of solvent. Third colligative property is elevation of boiling point of solvent. And the last colligative property is osmotic pressure of solution. See, these three are of solvent. This is of solution. Okay. Now, let us study these properties one by one and use these properties for determination of molar masses and solve numericals based upon their formulas. So first property is relative lowering of vapor pressure. We know that the vapor pressure of a solvent in solution is less than that of pure solvent. You have already learned it. You have learned in your previous lectures that when we put some non-volatile solute into a solvent, a solution is formed. Some solute particles come on surface, means some of the surface is occupied by solute particles also. Net surface area of solvent particles decrease, and hence rate of evaporation and vapor pressure also decreases. So same is written here, that in a solution, vapor pressure of a solvent is lesser than that of the pure solvent. And Rowlatt established that the lowering of vapor pressure depends only on the concentration of solute particles and is independent of their identity. We have derived a relationship. And it establishes a relation between vapor pressure of solution, mole fraction and vapor pressure of the solvent. Okay. Now we are going to establish a relation between vapor pressure of solution, okay, VP of solution, then mole fraction and vapor pressure of the solvent. Now let us derive. First of all, let a binary solution having solvent we are showing by number 1 and non-volatile solute by number 2. We are using this legend in our previous lectures also. So 1 is for solvent, 2 is for solute, which is non-volatile. Okay. Now let P degree 1 is VP of number 1, yani pure solvent. P degree 2 is VP of number 2, that is solute. X1 represents mole fraction of solvent. X2 represent mole fraction of solute. W1 means given mass of solvent. W2 is for given mass of solute. Capital M1 is molar mass of solvent and capital M2 is molar mass of solute. Small n1 represents number of moles of 1. Small n2 represents number of moles of 2. PS is the vapor pressure of solution, or you can say total vapor pressure of solvent and solute. So we shall use these representations in our derivations. Okay. Now, we know according to Rollett's law, we learned in our previous lecture that pressure of solution or total pressure is the sum of partial pressures of components P1 plus P2. And partial pressure of a component is the product of its pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. For example, partial pressure of component 1 is P degree 1 into X1 and component 2 is P degree 2 into X2. So this is the Rollett's law, which we know already. Okay. Now, because number 2 is a non-volatile solute. Non-volatile means it does not evaporate. It has no vapor pressure. That means P degree 2 is 0. If P degree 2 is 0, this whole term is 0. Then pressure of solution becomes P degree 1 into X1. That means pressure of such a solution in which solute is non-volatile is only due to solvent. Okay. Now, we also know in a binary solution, mole fractions of the two components are 1. The sum of mole fractions of both the components is total. Total means 1, unity. Okay, if there are 3 components, sum of all the 3 is 1, 4, sum of all the 4 is 1. But we have a binary solution. So mole fraction of component 1 and that of 2 is equal to 1. And we can write here PS is equal to P degree 1 into 1 minus X2. That is X1 will be equal to 1 minus X2. We can write here X2. Okay. Now let us do some mathematical manipulation. It will become PS equals P degree 1 minus P degree 1 into X2. Open this bracket. Okay. Now rearrange it. It will become P degree 1 minus PS P degree 1 into X2. You can do it in 2 steps. First, take it on left hand side. It will become negative. PS is positive. Then change their signs. Change signs of all. It will become this. Now, on bringing P degree 1 on left hand side, it is written like this. This is equation number 1. This is equation, sorry, number 2. This is number 3. So here, what does this equation represents? First term, P degree 1 minus Ps is called lowering in vapor pressure. P degree 1 is vapor pressure of solvent, pure solvent. Ps is that of solution. And Ps is lesser than P degree 1. Theoretically, we also know the reason. And mathematically, we have also derived it. So this difference is positive. We can call it delta P. Difference between these two can be called delta P difference. Okay. And this difference is called lowering in vapor pressure. And mind it that this is not a colligative property. Okay. And if we divide this lowering in vapor pressure, this delta P with vapor pressure of pure solvent, it becomes relative. Lowering with respect to pure solvent, okay, with respect to Vp of pure solvent. Now, this is relative lowering in vapor pressure, and this is a colligative property. You must keep this thing in mind. Clear? Now, in a solution containing several non-volatile solutes. See here, if a solution has 2, 3 or more solutes non-volatile, then solution is not binary, it is more than binary, ternary, quaternary. Then the lowering of the vapor pressure depends on the sum of the mole fractions of different components. This point sometimes you will have to use in solving some numericals. Okay, when there are 2 or more solutes, then we calculate their mole fraction separately and add their mole fractions to get total mole fraction. Because property is colligative, it does not depend upon nature of solute particles, it depends upon number. So only mole fractions are to be added. We will see it when some such numerical we have to deal with. Okay. Now, so this is first colligative property, relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now we are going to use it for determination of molar mass. Molar mass of what? Molar mass of a unknown non-volatile solute. Okay. Let us first derive formula, then we will use it. Now, from equation number 3, we know P degree 1 minus Ps over P degree 1 is equal to X2. X2 means mole fraction of non-volatile solute. This relative lowering in vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of non-volatile solute. That is why it is a colligative property. We have derived it mathematically. Now manipulate it, put value of X2. We know mole fraction of a component is its number of mole divided by the sum of number of moles of all components. So X2 is equal to N2 upon N1 plus N2. Now, number of mole of a component is what? It is its given mass over its molar mass. So N2 will be W2 over M2. Similarly, N1 will be W1 over M1. So put these values here. Now, if solution is very dilute, solution is very, very dilute, so that number of moles of solute are very, very lesser than number of moles of solvent. For example, in 10 moles of solvent, we have mixed 0.1 mole of solute. So 10 with respect to 0.1 is very large, or you can say 0.1 is very small with respect to 10. So we can neglect W2 upon M2 from denominator. By neglecting this, the above relation will remain only up to this. that relative lowering in vapor pressure is equal to W2 over M2 into M1 over W1. Now, if we know all the other values, we can calculate M2. What is M2? M2 is molar mass of unknown non-volatile solute. Okay. So this is very important for practical purposes. Sometimes in higher classes, we have some chemical substance. We don't know what this substance is. That substance is non-volatile. We know only this. So we can use this property to find molar mass of that unknown substance, and from that we can do further experiments to know what the substance is. Okay, now let us solve a numerical based upon this formula. The statement of numerical is vapor pressure of pure benzene at certain temperature is 0.850 bar. A non-volatile, non-electrolyte solid weighing 0.5 gram when added to 39 gram benzene having molar mass 78 gram per mole, vapor pressure of the solution then is 0.845 bar. What is the molar mass of solid substance? Now try to understand. See, in this numerical, you are given two vapor pressures, 0.850, 0.845. Okay. This is VP of pure solvent, that is benzene. This is VP of solution. You are given two masses, 0.5 gram and 39 gram. This is mass of solute and this is mass of solvent. Okay. And this is molar mass of benzene. Benzene is solvent. And you have to calculate the molar mass of solute. Means in this formula, what is given here in this statement? In this statement, you know W2, you know W1, you know M1, you know PS, you know P degree 1. And you have to calculate M2. Now let me speak in Punjabi also. In Punjabi, if you get confused in statement बड़ा confuse करके लिखा है कि solvent है, solute है, NMS, दो बारी mass आ गया, दो बारी pressure आ गया, दो बारी molar mass. Okay, so no need of getting confused. दो masses चों जेड़ा mass ज़्यादा है, obviously वो solvent दा है, जेड़ा घट है वो solute दा. तो 0.5 gram, 39 gram. So 39 gram solvent means W1. 0.5 gram solute means W2. Clear? दो बारी pressure आया, 0.850 bar and 0.845 bar. Now you know solute solvent the pressure ਨੂੰ lower कर ਦਿੰਦਾ है, घट कर दिंदा है. तो जेड़ा pressure थोड़ा जिहा घट है, that is of solution, that is PS. So 0.845 is PS and 0.850 will be P degree 1. And as तुसी फैसला कर ही लोगे, M2 तक calculate करना है. And M1 is molar mass of solvent. In this numerical, solvent is benzene. I think you got it. Clear? Now by putting values in this formula, now simply put values and get the answer, 170 gram per mole. Okay. After solving this, you have these practice problems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 numericals, their answers are given here. Try to solve these and match the answer. If still problem remains, then we will discuss in our Zoom meetings. Okay. So this was about first colligative property. that is relative lowering in vapor pressure. Now, other properties are connected with this property. Okay, try to understand. Second property. Second property is elevation of boiling point. First of all, what boiling point is? In our previous lecture, we have discussed a lot about this thing, that boiling point is a temperature at which vapor pressure of a liquid becomes equal to atmospheric pressure. See this graph. In this graph, temperature is on x-axis, vapor pressure of a liquid is on y-axis. Okay, this green line represents atmospheric pressure. Clear? Now, if a matter is below this green line, means if vapor pressure of a material, of a substance, is lesser than atmospheric pressure, then you know that substance will be in liquid state or solid state. There are three visible states of matter around us: solid, liquid, gas. तो जो चीज हमारे आसपास लिक्विड है या सॉलिड है, वो क्यों लिक्विड है, क्यों सॉलिड है? क्योंकि उसका वेपर प्रेशर एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर से कम है. लाइक ये एक लाइन है, दिस कर्व इज फॉर ए सॉल्वेंट. सॉल्वेंट का वीपी इतना है, दिस मच. ओके, इट मींस इट इज ए लिक्विड or solid, maybe we take liquid, it is a liquid. Clear? Now if we increase temperature of a liquid, we are heating this liquid, this solvent, let it be pure water, we are heating it. What will happen? You know, on heating, temperature increases, and with increase in temperature, Vp also goes on increasing. And what happened here? At this temperature, T degree B, what happened? That vapor pressure of this solvent has reached atmospheric pressure line. Clear? Now Vp of this solvent has become equal to atmospheric pressure. That means after this line is not of liquid, this line is of gas. Means after this barrier, this border, this solvent is not liquid, it has transformed into gas. So this is a transition point, and this is called boiling point. Boiling point is the temperature at which vapor pressure of a liquid becomes equal to atmospheric pressure. You got it, I think. Now, so this line, this yellow line, orange line is for solvent. Now what we do, we mix some amount of non-volatile solute into this solvent. At this temperature, suppose at this temperature, the Vp of solvent was this much, where this cursor is. So when some amount, say 5 gram of solute, non-volatile solute is added, you know, Vp of solvent will lower. There will be lowering in vapor pressure. Clear? Theoretically, surface is occupied by solute, and mathematically you have derived a relationship. Clear? So at same temperature, at this temperature, when solvent was pure, Vp was this. When solvent is mixed with solute, Vp has lowered. It is now this. See, this and this. If we put a line here, let me try line so that you get better understanding. This is VP of solvent. You can say P degree 1. Okay. And at same temperature, if I extend it, same temperature, this is temperature. This is VP of solution, PS. And this lowering can be called delta P, lowering in vapor pressure. At same temperature, VP has decreased. Okay. Now, we are heating solution also as we heated solvent. And by heating solution, also the VP of solution will increase because it depends upon temperature directly. So VP of solution is increasing with increase in temperature. Now, at this temperature, it will cross this border of atmospheric pressure. Means the solution will boil off. This is the boiling point of solution. And you see here, TB, boiling point of solution, is higher than boiling point of a solvent. There is increase, there is elevation. Word elevation is used for increase here. Lowering in vapor pressure, see, this is lowering in vapor pressure has resulted into elevation in boiling point shown by delta TB. Clear? These two are same. Lowering in VP, elevation in BP. So this graph represents this thing. Now let us do some mathematical treatment with this concept. In this graph, T degree B is BP of pure solvent, TB is BP of solution. Solution means solvent plus solute, 1 plus 2. And you see here in this graph, TB is greater than T degree B. And the difference is called delta TB, that is elevation in a boiling point. Now, practically, when we do experiments with some solvent and solute, we find that for dilute solutions, the elevation of boiling point delta TB is directly proportional to the molar concentration of the solute in a solution. Molar, number of moles. Clear? Number of moles per 1000 gram solvent. That is called molality. 1 molar solution means 1 mole of solute per 1000 gram of solvent. So experiments show that for dilute solution, delta TB is proportional to molality. Delta TB proportional M, put is equal to here, and we have to put some constant. That constant is Kb. Kb is called molar elevation constant, or it is also called ebullioscopic constant. Its units are kilogram, Kelvin, kilogram per mole. Okay. Now, we can also use this relation to get molar mass of unknown non-volatile solute. See, determination of molar mass. We know delta TB is equal to Kb into M. Put value of molality here. What is molality? The formula for molality is number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent into 1000 over number of mole of solute upon mass of solvent in grams into 1000. Okay, this is the formula. And number of mole is calculated by given mass over molar mass. So using this formula, this relation has been derived, that delta TB is equal to Kb into 1000 into W2 over W into M2. Simply we have just put value of molality here. see the value of molality from previous lecture and make this formula, come at this formula. And if we know all the other things, we can calculate molar mass of unknown solute. Okay. For example, I have been given some solid substance in a test tube. The substance is white color. I don't know what the substance is. Okay. I have to find out its molecular mass. If I know what the substance is, suppose if I know it is glucose, I know its formula C6H12O6, then I can calculate its molar mass, C mass 12, H1O16, it will be 180. But if I don't know what the substance is, what its formula is, then I can determine its molar mass by using these colligative properties. For example, I will take 100 gram water. Okay, 100 gram water. I will make it solvent. Water is pure, it is a solvent, 100 gram. And I know that boiling point of pure water is approximately 100 degrees Celsius, or you can say 373 Kelvin. Okay. Now, W1, that is weight of solvent, that water, 100 gram. Boiling point of water, T degree B, pure solvent, 373 Kelvin. Okay. Now Kb, ebullioscopic constant for water. It will be given. In labs, a table is there. For water, the value of Kb is 0.52 Kelvin per kg per mole. We know this, it is provided. Clear? Then, what I do, I put, suppose, 2 grams of that unknown substance in water. Now, what is 2 gram? 2 gram will be W2, mass of solute. Now, what else we know? In this formula, I know W2, I know W1, I know Kb and delta Tb. Now, experimentally, I will determine boiling point of that solution. Which solution? Which I have made by dissolving 2 gram of unknown substance in 100 gram of water. I will take that solution and I will determine its boiling point practically. Suppose that boiling point comes out to be 100.9 degrees Celsius, or you can say 373.9 Kelvin. Okay, this will be called TB. TB means boiling point of solution. Now I will get delta TB. Delta TB is what? TB minus T degree B. This minus this, that will come out to be 0.9 degree. This 0.9 is delta TB. Now we can use these values in this formula. We know delta TB, we know Kb, we know W2, we know W1, and very easily we can calculate molar mass of that unknown solute. I think now it is clear to you. And these two numericals are solved here for your better understanding. Okay, read their statement carefully and try to grasp. And after understanding these two numericals, there are practice problems, 63 to 73, 11 practice problems are there, which you can solve very easily and compare your answers. Okay, so this was second colligative property, elevation in boiling point. Whenever there is lowering in vapor pressure, there will be elevation in boiling point. Clear? Now, third colligative property, depression in freezing point. Depression means to decrease, कम होना, नीचे जाना, depress. Okay. First of all, as before, we will learn from the graph and then we will do mathematical treatment. See this graph. Vapor pressure, y-axis, temperature, x-axis. And suppose this line is of atmospheric pressure. Clear? Our everything is below atmospheric pressure means we are talking about liquids and solids. Okay, for example, air in my room is in gaseous state. That means in my room, under this condition, the vapor pressure of air is higher than atmospheric pressure. That is why it is gas. Okay, now let us see. This orange line is of pure solvent. As earlier, when we heat solvent, Vp will go on increasing, and when it crosses this border, it will become gas. That will be boiling point. Okay. Now, reverse. If we keep on lowering down temperature, if we keep down cooling it, Vp will decrease, will decrease. And at some temperature, Vp will show a sharp decrease. See, up to this point, Vp was decreasing smoothly. With decrease in temperature, Vp of this liquid is decreasing smoothly. But what happened at this point? At this point, it followed this black line. Means there is sharp decrease in vapor pressure. So this point is called freezing point of a liquid. Clear? Now you can define it also. See here, the freezing point of a substance may be defined as the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the substance in its liquid phase is equal to its vapor phase in solid phase. Or okay, the freezing point of a substance is defined as the temperature at which the vapor pressure of substance in liquid phase is equal to its vapor pressure in solid phase. Means Vp of liquid and solid becomes same. When liquid and solid has same vapor pressure, that is called freezing point. Oh yes, that is also called melting point. If you are going from liquid to solid, that will be called freezing point. And if you are coming from solid to liquid, that will be called melting point. Clear? So black line is solid line, orange line is liquid line. And this is a border. On right hand side, liquid, left hand side, solid. Liquid to solid, solid to liquid. You can call it freezing point and melting point as well. So this is for pure solvent. We have shown it by T degree F, freezing point of pure solvent. Now again, let us make a solution. Now we have dissolved some amount of non-volatile solute into pure solvent. And now I don't need to tell you again that when we add non-volatile solute, vapor pressure of solvent decrease. We have proved it theoretically as well as mathematically. Okay. Now, if at this temperature, Vp of pure liquid was this much, now Vp of solution will be lesser. This curve will be below. Now, if we want to freeze this solution, this line will have to meet solid line. This black line is solid line. And for meeting this solid line, it will go back further. Here, it will meet. And this is called freezing point of solution. At this point, there will be sharp decrease in pressure. Means here, the VP of liquid has become equal to VP of solid when it is solution. When it was pure, this transition happened here at this point. Clear? And you see, this point is at a lower temperature than this. So if this is T degree F, boiling point of solvent, this is TF, boiling point of a solution. And you see, boiling point of solution has moved on left side. It means temperature has decreased, temperature has depressed. So this is called depression in freezing point, delta TF. Clear? T degree F is higher temperature, TF is lower temperature. And difference delta is always final state minus initial state. This TF is final, T degree F is initial, TF minus T degree F. The difference will be negative because lesser magnitude minus higher magnitude, difference is negative, but we do not use negative word. Negative is not put here. At the place of negative, we write it depression. Okay, in mathematical relations, in solving numericals, we are not going to use negative sign. Instead of using negative sign, we will use a qualitative word, depression. Depression means negative, depression means lowering, lesser. Okay. Now, similarly, you can use these terms and delta TF is depression. And again, this depression is proportional to molality and make it equal to, and as we used KB, here we will use KF. KF is molar depression constant and like molar elevation constant. And it is also called cryoscopic constant. Molar elevation constant was called ebullioscopic constant, but here KF is called cryoscopic constant. And again, we can put the value of molality, the formula of molality, and use it for determination of molar mass. As earlier, same to same, everything is same, nothing different. Okay, so similarly, determine the molar mass of solute by using this property also. So try to solve these two problems, try to understand these two problems which are solved here. And after doing this, there are practice problems for you. Clear? So this was the third colligative property, which is called depression of freezing point. Now, last colligative property, that is osmotic pressure. So this lecture number 7 is going to be somewhat longer than earlier, because we should learn these properties collectively to differentiate between the formulas and numericals. For your comfort, you can view this lecture in parts. First, learn only first property, solve its numericals, then second, then third, then fourth. That depends upon you. If you can do it continuously, all properties together, that is very good. Okay. Now, fourth colligative property, the last colligative property is osmotic pressure. Before studying osmotic pressure, let us first study osmosis. Bio students must have learned about osmosis. What is osmosis? Osmosis is a natural process. It is a spontaneous process What is osmosis? The flow of solvent molecules from their higher concentration to lower concentration, or from lower concentration of solute to higher concentration of solute through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Many students are now going to confuse here because I have used higher concentration to lower concentration, or lower concentration of solute to higher concentration of solute. Clear? Solution is having solvent and solute. If in a solution concentration of solvent is higher, that means that of solute is lower, and vice versa. So we can use either word higher or lower by changing the term solvent to solute. No problem. So movement of solvent, only solvent will move, solute will not move, because movement is through a membrane, which is called semi-permeable membrane, SPM, semi-permeable membrane. These are some specialized membranes which allow the passage of only solvent molecules. There are many naturally occurring membranes also. These membranes can be of animal or vegetable origin. All these substances are bound by membrane. For example, raw mangoes shrivel when pickled in brine. Mangoes का आप अचार डालते हो, अचार डालने का प्रोसेस इज व्हाट, अचार डालने से क्या होता है, जो फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स हैं उनका मॉइस्चर बाहर आ जाता है और वो खराब नहीं होता, उसको आप स्टोर कर सकते हो। मैंगो का हम पिकल कॉमनली डालते हैं। देन विल्टेड फ्लावर्स, फूल मुरझा जाते हैं, पानी छिड़क दो तो वो अपनी फिर टर्जिड हो जाते हैं। ठीक है, बॉडी के ब्लड सेल्स, जो हमारे ब्लड के सेल्स हैं, वो कोलैप्स हो जाते हैं सलाइन वाटर में। तो सब्जी वाले क्या करते हैं, अपनी सब्जियों को गर्मियों में खासतौर से पानी से वेट करते रहते हैं ताकि वो ताजी रहें, वो टर्जिड रहें, क्योंकि अगर वो वेट नहीं करेंगे तो सब्जियां ढीली हो जाएंगी, लूजेंड, उनकी जो सरफेस के ऊपर झुर्रियां सी पड़ जाएंगी, कोई उसको खरीदेगा नहीं। तो एक्चुअली इट इज ड्यू टू ओस्मोसिस। जो हमारी मेम्ब्रेन है, आवर स्किन, इवन आवर स्किन इज आल्सो ए सेमी परमिएबल मेम्ब्रेन। तो एनिमल्स, प्लांट्स की जो बॉडीज हैं, दे आर बाउंड बाय मेम्ब्रेन्स. These membranes can be of animal or vegetable origin, and these occur naturally, such as pig's bladder or parchment, or can be synthetic, such as cellophane. So these are some membranes. Okay, these membranes appear to be continuous sheets or films. देखने में शीट लग रही है, एक फिल्म लग रही है, जैसे हमारी स्किन है, ठीक है। Yet they contain a network of sub-microscopic holes or pores. Small solvent molecules like water can pass through these holes, but the passage of bigger molecules like solute is hindered. So membranes having this kind of property are known as semi-permeable membrane. Now come back to osmosis. What is osmosis? Osmosis is flow of solvent, only solvent, from its higher concentration, solvent की अपनी higher concentration से अपनी lower की तरफ, या flow of solvent solute की lower concentration से solute की higher. तो अगर solvent अपनी higher से अपनी लोअर की तरफ जा रहा है, इसका मतलब वो सोल्यूट की लोअर से सोल्यूट की हायर की तरफ जा रहा है. नाउ यू कैन मार्क इट अप, ट्राई टू ग्रास्प इट. दिस इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ ऑस्मोसिस. ओके, नाउ लेट अस सी एन एक्सपेरिमेंट. इन दिस कंटेनर वी हैव प्योर सॉल्वेंट, say water. Okay, in this apparatus. It is a reversed funnel type apparatus. We have put some solution here, and it is covered with a semi-permeable membrane. This membrane will allow only the flow of solvent. Solute will not move because there are holes in this membrane which allow only solvent to pass through it. Okay. Now, if we make this setup, keep it, and after some time, what we shall notice that water has gone up in this tube. इसमें पानी ऊपर चला गया अपने आप, स्पॉन्टेनियसली. क्यों चला गया? इसलिए कि बाहर तो पानी था प्योर, बाहर सिर्फ पानी है, कोई सोल्यूट नहीं है. ठीक. और नंबर 1 हम लेते हैं सॉल्वेंट के लिए, X1 सॉल्वेंट. तो अगर ये प्योर पानी है तो X1 कितना हो गया? 1. इसमें सोल्यूट है ही नहीं, सोल्यूट का फ्रैक्शन कितना हो गया? 0. क्लियर? अच्छा, अंदर सपोज हमने लिया पानी में नमक घोल लिया या चीनी घोल ली या कुछ भी घोल ली, क्योंकि प्रॉपर्टी कॉलिगेटिव है. इट डजंट मैटर कि व्हाट द सोल्यूट इज, व्हाट मैटर्स इज ओनली देयर मोल फ्रैक्शन, ओनली देयर नंबर. क्लियर? तो अब अंदर वाले सॉल्यूशन में सॉल्वेंट भी है, सोल्यूट भी है. ठीक. तो अंदर वाले सॉल्यूशन में जो सॉल्वेंट है उसका मोल फ्रैक्शन क्या 1 होगा? नहीं, क्योंकि वो प्योर थोड़ी है. उसका मोल फ्रैक्शन जो X1 होगा वो लेस देन 1 होगा. और जो X2 है अब वो 0 थोड़ो है, अब वो 0 से ज्यादा. ठीक है. तो इस ट्यूब के अंदर पानी चढ़ना क्या शो कर रहा है कि बाहर से सॉल्वेंट अंदर गया. इसका मतलब सॉल्वेंट अपनी हायर से अपनी लोअर में गया. यहाँ 1 है, यहाँ 1 से कम है. ये सॉल्वेंट की हायर है, ये सॉल्वेंट की लोअर है. तो सॉल्वेंट अपनी हायर से अपनी लोअर की ओर गया. या हम कह सकते हैं कि सॉल्वेंट सोल्यूट की लोअर से सोल्यूट की हायर की तरफ गया. बाहर सोल्यूट की 0 थी, अंदर सोल्यूट की 0 से ज्यादा है. बाहर लोअर है, अंदर हायर है. तो इसको एक बार फिर रिवाइंड करके सुनो, समझो. सिंपल. क्लियर? सो दिस इज ऑस्मोसिस. आपने देखा होगा कि अगर किशमिश, जिसको सौगी कहते हैं, उसको डुबो दो पानी में, वो फूल जाती है. क्यों? क्योंकि किशमिश के अंदर जो जूस है, मीठा मीठा सिरप है, उसके अंदर सॉल्यूशन है. और पानी जो है बाहर, अब बाहर मोल फ्रैक्शन ऑफ वाटर इज मोर देन इनसाइड ऑफ दैट रेजिन. तो इसलिए बाहर से अपने आप पानी अंदर गया. वो जो किशमिश का स्किन है वो एसपीएम है. एसपीएम मींस सेमी परमिएबल मेम्ब्रेन. क्लियर? दैट इज ऑस्मोसिस. हाँ, अगर किसी सिस्टम के अंदर वाटर चला जाए उसको बोलते हैं एंड ऑस्मोसिस. END, एंड ऑस्मोसिस. और अगर आप उल्टा सिस्टम कर दो तो फिर उसको क्या बोल देंगे? एक्स ऑस्मोसिस. अगर हम उसी किशमिश को शुगर की चाशनी में डुबो दें, या आप ग्रेप्स को शुगर की चाशनी में डुबो दो गाड़ी गाड़ी में, तो उल्टा हो जाएगा. अब जो ग्रेप के अंदर का सिरप है उसमें वाटर का मोल फ्रैक्शन ज्यादा है. जो बाहर चाशनी का सॉल्यूशन है गाढ़ा सा, उसमें वाटर का फ्रैक्शन कम है. अब ग्रेप के अंदर का वाटर बाहर आ जाएगा, वो श्रिवल हो जाएगा, वो सौगी की तरह, किशमिश की तरह बन जाएगा. दैट इज एक्स ऑस्मोसिस. Okay, there are so many examples in your books also. Try to understand those. अच्छा, ये ओस्मोसिस कब तक होती रहती है? कब तक होती रहती है? दुनिया में कोई भी काम कब तक होता है? जब तक इक्विलिब्रियम आ जाता है ना? तो जब सॉल्वेंट एंड जब दोनों सॉल्यूशंस का मोल फ्रैक्शन सेम हो जाएगा, सॉल्वेंट का, सोल्यूट का, so process will come in equilibrium. It will seem to have stopped. इक्विलिब्रियम पे क्या होता है कि लगता है कि प्रोसेस रुक गई, एक्चुअली प्रोसेस तो हो रही, जितनी फॉरवर्ड उतनी बैकवर्ड। तो इक्विलिब्रियम आ जाएगा, तब लगेगा कि अब ऑस्मोसिस रुक गई है, लगेगा। हाँ, नाउ अब हम आते हैं असली चीज पे। असली चीज क्या है? ऑस्मोटिक प्रेशर। कॉलिगेटिव प्रॉपर्टी ऑस्मोसिस नहीं है, कॉलिगेटिव प्रॉपर्टी तो है ऑस्मोटिक प्रेशर। व्हाट इज दिस? नाउ ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड। ऑस्मोसिस तो स्पॉन्टेनियस है, नेचुरल है, अपने आप होती है। जैसे हमने ये सेटअप किया, ऑस्मोसिस शुरू हो गई, वाटर अंदर जाना शुरू हो गया। इफ आई वांट कि ऑस्मोसिस ना हो, इसको नहीं होने देना, व्हाट आई विल हैव टू डू? तो मुझे इस टेस्ट ट्यूब के, इस ट्यूब के ऊपर बाहर से कुछ प्रेशर लगाना पड़ेगा ताकि सॉल्वेंट के मॉलिक्यूल्स इसके अंदर ना आ जाए। That extra pressure, that pressure which we have to apply on solution side just to prevent the flow of solvent molecules into it is called osmotic pressure. ठीक है भाई? See this diagram. Two containers. This is pure solvent. This is solution. Solvent means x1 is 1, x2 is 0. Solution means x1 is less than 1, x2 is more than 0. And both these solutions are separated by SPM. If pressure on both sides is same, what will happen? Spontaneously, solvent molecule will pass through this SPM, go into this. To stop this process, we will have to apply some pressure. Atmospheric pressure on both sides is same. This pi is some extra pressure which we have to apply to stop the process of osmosis. ये दोनों कांटेक्ट में भी रहें एसपीएम मेम्ब्रेन के थ्रू और ऑस्मोसिस भी ना हो, ये तो अननेचुरल है। तो ये काम करने के लिए हमको प्रेशर लगाना पड़ेगा। दैट प्रेशर इज कॉल्ड osmotic pressure, and osmotic pressure is a colligative property. It depends on number of solute particles, molecules, and not on their identity. For dilute solutions, it has been found experimentally that osmotic pressure is proportional to molarity. C means concentration of the solution at given temperature T. So this rho is equal to CRT. Rho is the osmotic pressure. Rho से represent किया क्योंकि P तो pressure of gas बन जाएगा, तो rho word या आप pi word use कर सकते हो, कोई भी. So rho equals CRT. Rho is OP. R is what? R is gas constant. Gas constant की value वही जो आप लिखते हो. यहाँ पे उसको हम बोलेंगे solution constant because we are doing with solutions. Actually, gases are and liquids are same. You were told earlier also, gaseous state of matter and liquid state of matter resemble so much that both are collectively called fluids. Both can flow. Okay. So dilute solutions behave like gases. So we can use gas constant R here, and we can call it solution constant also. Clear? So rho is equal to CRT. C means concentration. And what is concentration? Concentration is number of moles of solute upon volume. N2 over V. Clear? And N2 number of moles is equal to given mass of solute over molar mass of solute. Again and again we are getting the same thing. You must, up till now, you must have learned it. So putting these values, rho is equal to W2 RT over M2. Put V here on this side. So molar mass of solute is equal to given mass of solute, solution constant, temperature, osmotic pressure is shown by pi here, V. We should write, instead of rho, we should write pi here also. It's confusing again and again. Use pi letter for osmotic pressure. Okay. Here also use pi. No need of rho. Thus, knowing all these values, we can get we can get molar mass of unknown solute. Okay, so this was about osmotic pressure. You must be seeing some green, some words highlighted by green color. Isotonic solution, hypertonic solution, hypotonic solution. What does it mean? When two solutions, like here, when two solutions are separated by sp membrane and have same concentration, when concentration of these two solutions is same, both have same mole fractions of solvent and solute, then what will happen? Then no osmosis will take place. Okay, osmosis will be in equilibrium, and such solutions are called isotonic solutions. Iso means same. When two solutions separated by SPM have same concentrations, will have same osmotic pressure, and no osmosis will actually take place, there will be equilibrium. Such solutions are called isotonic solutions. Clear? But when two solutions separated by SPM have different concentrations, then one of the solution will be called hypertonic, other will be called hypotonic. Hyper means higher, hypo means low. Obviously, the solution having higher concentration of solute will be having higher osmotic pressure, and that will be called hypertonic, and vice versa. Clear? Osmosis always take place from hypotonic to hypertonic. Osmosis always occur from hypo. Hypo means lower concentration of solute. Hyper means higher concentration of, very basic thing. Try to grasp it. Now, last thing, last topic. Last topic is, what if I apply this pressure more than that was just sufficient to stop osmosis? osmosis इस केस में ना हो, उसको रोकने के लिए जितना प्रेशर लगाना था वो लगा दिया, osmosis रुक गई. And if प्रेशर और लगा दूं थोड़ा सा, जितना प्रेशर osmosis को रोकने के लिए चाहिए उससे ज्यादा प्रेशर लगा दिया जाए तो क्या होगा? तो फिर सॉल्यूशन से सॉल्वेंट के मॉलिक्यूल सॉल्वेंट की तरफ जाना शुरू हो जाएंगे, यानी कि ऑस्मोसिस की डायरेक्शन रिवर्स हो जाएगी, उल्टी हो जाएगी, ऑपोजिट हो जाएगी. That will be called reverse osmosis. RO, आपके घरों में वाटर प्यूरिफायर होते हैं, RO सिस्टम, RO आजकल बहुत लगते हैं घरों में। रिवर्स RO की फुल फॉर्म है रिवर्स ऑस्मोसिस। When pressure applied on solution side is higher than osmotic pressure, then flow of solvent will take place in opposite direction, means from higher concentration of solute to lower concentration of solute, or you can say from lower concentration of solvent to higher concentration of solvent. ठीक है? So this is called reverse osmosis, but this is a non-spontaneous process. ये अपने आप नहीं होती, ये तभी होती है जब हम प्रेशर लगाते हैं। Osmosis is spontaneous, वो नेचर में अपने आप ही होती है। Clear? See this diagram. Fresh water is here, here is saline water. समुद्र का पानी नमकीन होता है, उसको हम पी नहीं सकते। गल्फ कंट्रीज में समुद्र के पानी को SPM के साथ जोड़ के ऐसे फ्रेश वाटर से इसमें इधर प्रेशर लगाएंगे पिस्टन से, जो प्रेशर लगाएंगे वो ऑस्मोटिक प्रेशर से ज्यादा होएगा, तो रिवर्स ऑस्मोसिस से फ्रेश वाटर निकलेगा, वो ड्रिंकिंग के काम आएगा। क्लियर? नाउ न्यूमेरिकल्स। ये न्यूमेरिकल एक सॉल्व किया हुआ है, वैल्यूज गिवन है, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड इट, एंड आफ्टर दैट you have to solve these 19 numericals. So this is the end of lecture of today. आज हमने क्या लर्न किया? Solutions, unit 2 हम पढ़ रहे हैं solutions. In first lecture we learned what a solution is, what are the different types of solutions on depending upon their physical states, and what are the methods of concentration. Okay. In second lecture, you learned about solubilities of solutions of different kinds. And in that, you also learned Henry's law. Clear? In next lecture, you learned about vapor pressure, factors affecting vapor pressure of pure liquid, and VP of solution, solution having liquid component, solution having non-volatile component, and there comes Roller's law and numericals based upon it. Clear? After that, we have learned these colligative properties, 4 colligative properties and their numericals. And now what remains are 2 or 3 more topics in which you will study abnormal molar masses and Van Hoff's factor. Okay. So for today, thank you.